Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Roughneck RC. And yeah, I know, my head is floating, but that's for a reason. Behind me is my TV, and on there is my YouTube channel, Roughneck RC, as you all come here to see. Reason being, yeah, I could have done this a different way. I'm getting over a cold. That's one of the reasons you haven't seen much videos lately. I came back from Axialfest, and within a couple days I got sick. So, don't worry, not COVID. Oh, you're not supposed to say that on YouTube. Oh well. But I wanted to go over my thoughts on Axialfest and try to make people a little better prepared going to the Badlands than I was, because I really walked into stuff that I wasn't prepared for. I prepared for it based on other people's videos, but there's some stuff going to the Badlands that you guys need to know, and we're gonna cover that. I thank all you newcomers for subscribing to my channel and following me, and it has definitely been an honor, especially the few new people that I actually got to meet at Axialfest. It was great. So let's see. Let's start with Alright, let's start with day one. We don't want ads, we're just gonna skip it. My logo. So on the very first day, there you go there. Even though you pre-register online, they didn't tell me this. You have to go through this admissions process. Now, what you don't see in this video is how long that line is. So, if you go and they say they're opening, I forgot what time they actually opened up, but say they were opening up the lines at 9 a.m. You want to go down there 45 minutes or half an hour early, if not earlier, because that line very much grew in length. I need some coffee. Let's see. So this is the registration, but I pre-registered online, so to me, hold on, there it is. Let's back it up. Let's back it up. Oh, not that far. It's 50 seconds in. Let's see. See if I can catch it, because it's sped up. This line. This is just after waiting over a half an hour. And I got down there 30 minutes early in the line in the hot sun. So I thought I was prepared for everything that was going to happen. And I was there for a week. The event was 3 days, but I was camping in the Badlands for a week. I brought one long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, which is a sweatshirt with a hood if people don't know what a hoodie is. You know, 2 pairs of long pants, and the rest were shorts and summer wear. This particular day was over 100 degrees. Matter of fact, that's something I wasn't prepared for because I was tent camping. So there was no break for me in the temperature. During the whole entire time I was in the Badlands, it was over 100 degrees. One day topping over 107 degrees. Don't remember if it was this day that was over 107, but it was bloody hot out there. You were sweating and uncomfortable while standing in this line. My point is, during registration in the morning when they open the registration stuff, get down to the registration booth early. Maybe bring a chair with you. The other thing is you do not need to bring your rig. I had carried my rig all the way down when I was carrying it there because I wasn't sure. My first time going. But you don't need your rig or any of your vehicles that need to be inspected at this point. You just need yourself, some ID, and go through this line. Go to here where you sign some documents. Even though you already signed stuff online, you still gotta sign some documents, as you see this gentleman doing. And then after you're done with signing the documents, you go into here, and there's more of a line. But inside this building is AC. So in this building is where, as you've seen in my video, you give them your name, they check it off, they hand you your bag of treats, so to speak. As you've seen, you get your your map, you get your book bag, you get your pins and all the stuff. And it's in one of the videos that I go over it, and it might be even this one. But you get your stuff that they promised you by being a person who pre-registered online, with your T-shirt and so forth. So, but you got to go through that line. So a lot more standing in line. Okay, a lot of people. So they didn't tell me that. I thought I wouldn't have to do all that because I did it online. Make sure that you do that. Don't carry your rig like I did because I didn't know any better. Go down to the registration booth earlier than what it says because there will be a line. Be prepared to be standing out in the sun in the heat. Be prepared for temperatures that exceed your expectations. I mean, I'm from the north. I'm up here in Connecticut, and it gets hot and humid in the summer. So I was prepared to sort of for the heat, but not. I've never experienced 100+ degree weather, and when it, in my life, I don't think, and if I did, I don't remember it, but definitely not when I was camping and in a tent where there's no AC to escape from the cruel, yes, I'm going to say cruel, and I love the warm weather, but 107 is just cruel. It just punishes you unrelentingly. I wasn't prepared for that extreme. I was prepared for summer-like weather, but not not that. Alright, so let me go off of day one. Let's do day. That's day 3. So so day 1 is mostly about registering. Also, you go through your tech inspection, which is another line in the hot sun. Tech inspection is not that bad. Just remember that you can't change. What they're looking for is you can alter your vehicle. You just can't go off of OEM style stuff. So you can have aluminum housings on your axles per se, but all the internals, all your bearings and stuff, all have to be to original manufacturer specs. So don't buy any housings that have oversized bearings, stuff like that. Don't change your internals at all. Any of your driveline has to be axial. From what I've experienced and from what I know. So when in doubt, use axial parts. And if you have a 100% axial rig, you're golden to go to Axialfest. If you do some crazy modifications, remember to try to keep your driveline all of Axialfest related. So day 1 is registration, tech inspection, so and I also believe the ice cream social was on at the end of day 1, which was cool, you know. But so be prepared to be out in the sun. Be prepared to be hot and uncomfortable standing in lines. Bring sunscreen, which I didn't have with me. There's a lot of stuff I didn't think of. So foremost, we're moving on to day 2. Right here, this was the day that was 107 out. This is in the rock quarry. And it was so hot and uncomfortable down there. That's the other thing. Bring a hat. A lot of people have big brim hats on because it provides shade. When you're down here, there isn't much shade. You're just dying of heat. Granted, it is an awesome place to run an RC. It's also where they were going to do rock racing, rock bouncing, which I couldn't experience because I had to leave. But definitely very cool. But extremely hot. So on day 2, obviously the trails opened up nice and early. Everybody went out and was having a good time. So that is day 2. Once again, I'm emphasizing it was extremely hot. And as you can see, this is fun for families. This is fun. You know, there was children, there was men, there was grandpas, there was old men, there was middle-aged men like me, young men, but there was also a fair share of women. I'm just going to point this out because women don't often think of it as this a hobby for them, but I just want to make sure that you know. And actually, I'm probably going to get my cousin Amy into this. She doesn't know it yet, but I've already got her husband into it, Tim. Hi Tim, hi Amy, what's going on guys? Love you guys. My little shout out. They're a great supporter. They subscribe to the channel. They'll see this video. This here, right here, this lady right here, you would never picture a lady like that. Oh crap. What did I do? Oh, now I gotta wait for this. I hate commercials. They never used to put commercials on myself. Now I'm gonna stick with commercials on myself. So let's fast forward. No, it wasn't day 1. Crap. We really screwed the pooch on this one. Where the hell is day 3? Day 2. Day 2. Let's see if I can see her. Get a shot at her. This lady way back here. You got these 3 guys, you got this lady. See children. Another lady, her husband, I believe. Gotta love it. Love it, love it. We're looking for it, we're looking for it. Her husband, all sorts of people, all different fitness levels. But they are females that are doing this. And they're driving crawlers, obviously. No lady coming off the mountain. Let's try it here. Terrain's diverse. So, this lady right here, I believe this is her husband, or a boyfriend, or something. I was actually kind of shocked to see a lady of that caliber into the hobby. I mean, obviously, there's all sorts of people, and we're diverse. That was the word I was looking for. Bunch of people that love this hobby. She actually kind of caught my eye because she looked like someone that you would see in a gym teaching a fitness class or something. That, or, you know, and I'm just pointing this out because I want to emphasize that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what walks of life you do. In this hobby, everybody's accepting everybody. So be prepared when you go that you're going to see people from all walks of life, from all sorts of different backgrounds, and they're all brought together to this event for the love of the hobby. So be prepared for that. Be prepared to watch your language, definitely, because there's a lot of small children around, you know, and also be prepared for how friendly people really can be under the right circumstances. That's one of the things I love about the hobby is that you go to these events, people are so accepting and open and friendly and try to help one another, and we're all there to have a good time. Can it be competitive? Sure, but it doesn't have to be. Axialfest is what you make it is. And if you're thinking about going, like, don't be like, oh, I need to leave my significant other home. Buy her a rig, even if it's a basic rig. Get her out there. Once you go, you'll have a good time. I promise. You know. All right. So day 2, everything opens up. You get to go play. Remember, very hot. But also, the other thing they didn't tell me, and I wasn't prepared for, was how cold it gets at night in the Badlands. There was a few nights I was freezing, and I had a heavy sleeping bag and the sweats on, and I was buried underneath, curled in a ball, because it went from over 100 degrees during the day to like 52 degrees at night. Some people might say, well, that ain't cold. But when your body is being cooked all day in the sun, and then you go from being that hot to boom to 52 degrees, you're virtually freezing because your body's like, whoa, what is going on? So be prepared for temperatures to go back and forth, you know, when you're going to this. So bring stuff accordingly to that. Go think of the most extremes that you can, you know, as far as temperature wise, and plan for that. Alright, so that's enough on day 2. Obviously, you want to watch day 2 footage, you get better than that, but most of day 2. And I know this video is a little long, but I think this is important. My drive was 14 hours, and I did it straight through. I need more coffee, and it was no fun. Alright. I really wanted to do the rock racing event on day 4. I was told that incoming weather was coming, it was going to rain and stuff. I'm in a tent. You don't pack a tent away wet. So I left the day early because I wasn't sure what the weather was going to bring, and I didn't experience the stuff that I wanted to experience going to it. I experienced a lot, I just didn't get to experience the rock racing stuff, and so forth. But and obviously I have a day 3, but we're not going to go by day 3. Day 3, I had this awesome, you know, competition event where judges were judging your rigs on different categories, which was really cool, custom stuff. You can watch day 3 on that. But this right here, Performance Hobby in RC here. Okay. Vendors. First, make sure you bring a lot of extra spending money. That you need to be prepared to do. Granted, you can go into town and hit a bank or whatever and stuff like that. And there's places, the town isn't that far away. But and also make sure you have a lot of water because the temperatures and the proper clothing, like I said. This brings me to a very important thing. Performance RC and Hobbies was the only hobby shop that was like a godsend to people. Now, Horizon was there, and obviously it's Horizon owns Axial, but they didn't. People went to them. They were selling stuff. They had some stuff with them, but people were breaking things that they didn't have. They couldn't get from Horizon. I sent numerous people to Performance RC and Hobbies to get parts because they were the only person that had a diverse amount of parts. Available to us. So that brings me to another very important thing. As much as you may be prepared, that you think you're prepared for it, double and triple up on your parts that you're bringing with you. So if you're bringing an SCX6, bring enough parts to basically build a whole nother SCX6. I know that sounds ridiculous, but there wasn't a lot of parts for that. So if you bust something, you're going to hope that someone else has brought it, that you can get it off of someone, which was in my case on one situation. I'll get to that. But these guys helped a lot of people out that were having those problems because they were the only ones with a smorgasbord of variety of parts. Don't expect to be able to get parts while you're at this event. Carry enough parts for each one of your rigs that you can successfully do repairs 2 to 3 times. Whether it's extra shock parts, in my example, I lost a wheel nut. I thought I had brought my wheel nuts because I had extra wheel nuts for one of my rigs, and I didn't. I went to Horizon, they didn't have any wheel nuts. So, I was lucky enough that a guy actually had an extra nut that would fit the diameter of the rift, and I used that. And that got me back up and running, but that's just one example, and I wasn't the only one that was experiencing problems like that. The rift is known for losing wheel nuts, and we'll get back to that shortly. So, even though they were there, which is great, and they helped a lot of people, don't count on the vendors to have what you need to repair your rigs. So double down on it. Bring extra upon extra of spare parts and repairing stuff for whatever rigs you plan on bringing to the Axialfest. And, just don't, plan this out. This is an event that happens once a year. One of these events is in California, the other is in the Badlands. So make sure that you bring enough parts to repair your rigs. Double down on it, maybe even triple down on it, because then you're able to help someone else out that might have not been as prepared as you were. I had gone in with that theory. I had triple the parts that I know that are known to break on the Rift, but I forgot my extra wheel nuts. And, thank God someone helped me out, but we'll get back into that in a minute. But Performance RC and Hobbies, it was great that they were there and able to help a lot of people. And it was great business for them too. Alright. So, let's go into what can go wrong. Trail A, as I say in this video, was I had the worst luck on Trail A. Let's see if I can get to it. That's my rig right there. Little orange one. That rig on Trail A, and obviously this is a crawling course, and I'm bringing a rock bouncer to a crawling course. But that's what I had brought to run. I had brought another rig, but I ended up selling that because I didn't think I was going to use it. So I was going to attempt to do this crawling course with this vehicle. Fast forward a little bit.
Brad, I think they were like $40 off of eBay.
But once again, my rig.
I got you beat, 14 hours on the road.
See if I can find it. I might have edited it out.
Dual lights.
Back up.
My rig's still okay, right here. Right there. As I was going up to go on this obstacle, I didn't realize I lost my wheel nut. That happened right there. I lost a wheel nut. I've had this problem before with this rig. Now, talking to Horizon on the Rift, the problem is that the beveled wheel nuts that are for this, the bevel doesn't allow it to grip a lot of the thread on the axle shaft. So they have a tendency to loosen up and spin out. In this video, you will see how many times that had happened to me. The first time I was particularly lucky that I actually found the wheel nut, but this brings me to a very important thing. What could go wrong? Right? You go to the event, you drive, in my case, 14 hours. Some people drove further, some people drove less. You have everything packed in your car that you can think of. And even then, you forget stuff. that's why I'm doing this video now for my house, because it was like, this is like stuff that I've learned that I'm hopefully will make it so that you guys are better prepared for events. And the stuff I'm pointing out, no matter what event it is, whether it's Axialfest Badlands or any event, you want to double down on that. So when you go to an event, make sure that you have what you need. You know, this happened to me a few times. After the last time, I went, you know, and I actually lost the nut, because this time I found it, but I ended up going to Horizon, and I ended up talking to them. They didn't have any parts, but they said it was a common problem, and the fact is it's because of the bevel that wheel nut particularly has. You need a wheel nut that will fit that doesn't have a bevel. It doesn't grip far enough in to give it a nice lock. So luckily someone had one without the bevel and got me up and running, and then I didn't run that ride again. I was holding off for rock racing, but then the bad weather came in, because I was like, if I'm going to break it, I'm going to break it on the events I brought this for, not messing around. So that being said, I didn't get to experience day 4, which had the stuff I really was looking forward to doing. Not anybody's fault. I made a judgment call. From the weather reports were coming in, it was supposed to be storming. I would need to break camp the next day. If the tent was wet, that just, it wasn't even my tent. I was borrowing the tent. So, like, you know, there's a lot of things in that equation that made me come to the decision that I'm better off just pack it up and going a day early than to take a chance. So, but yeah, what can go wrong? Well, not having the parts you need to fix your stuff, that can go wrong. So double and triple down on that. Not being prepared for the extreme temperature switches, that can go wrong and make you uncomfortable. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for, you know, extreme temperatures from too hot to too cold. Be prepared in case it's going to rain. Now, one year it was like rain the whole entire time people were there. This year it was basically hot and humid and dust. My car was disgusting. It was really the opposite end of the spectrum. So when you're going to this, just be prepared for crazy weather conditions that you're going to be doing. So be prepared for long lines. And what else can I say? Prepared to have extra money, extra spending cash. You know, I was really good and I didn't spend a lot of money when I was there. I probably had a couple $100 of spending cash on me, and I only bought, I think, a charger. Well, I bought a couple chargers because they were on sale, just to have to give away as gifts on holidays and birthdays and stuff. And I bought a couple shirts. I bought a few other little things, but nothing, you know. I didn't break the bank. You can spend as much or as little as you want, but make sure you have cash on you. Makes it much easier. You know, I was tent camping, so I saved money that way. You can rent villas. They're like extremely expensive. And because the way our economy is, double check if you call them and you want to try to rent a villa. They see what the pricing is that year. When I mean extremely expensive, like almost $200 a night type deal. At least when I went. That's why I didn't rent a villa. And I don't have an RV. And it's extra if you want power hookup or not. That, you gotta check, all that is with the campsite, not with Axialfest. But be prepared for that. Also, the other thing I wasn't prepared for, and I should have checked this ahead of time, is how expensive it is. Like I said, I was there for a week, so I was there a few days ahead, and my thought was, oh, I could just go rent a side-by-side and go off and bomb around on the trails. When I asked about that, it was like $500 a day with a $1,400 deposit in case you break something. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So, you could spend a bloody fortune while you're there, or you could spend, you know, little. It depends on you. So, now once again, I tried on my videos. My videos were basically to give you guys a taste of what it is to be there. There was a lot more events going on. Some of them I did see, some of them I didn't because of how hot it was. Some of them I wasn't really interested in. Oh yeah, the other thing is put lights on your rig. You want to do the night run through the trails. I had lights on my rig, but I didn't participate in that way. I participated as a camera guy, and I didn't follow them all the way through because it got too dark for the cameras, but there's footage of that night run, and it was cool. It was definitely like probably the coolest thing to see. You know, all the vehicles with the lights and stuff. It was just unbelievably cool. Be prepared to walk a lot. Now they have, not a taxi, I forgot what they call it, but they have a vehicle going around with a trailer that has hay bales on it that basically will bring you to certain locations. But even with that, be prepared to walk a lot. You know, bring appropriate footwear. Actually, if I was you, I'd bring a couple pairs because, like I said, you don't know what the weather's going to be. So if your feet get wet, you're going to want to have something dry to put your feet in. Alright. Now, here's something that you guys probably need to know. Give me 1 minute. Right here. That's my Raminator. That is the most expensive RC I've ever owned. And mine is not stock. I have tons of aftermarket hop-ups on that. Some are very custom. Thanks to my cousins. Thanks Tim and Amy. The body mounts worked perfectly for this truck. But This is my Raminator. This didn't go through inspection, obviously, because you only can have Axialfest. It's Axialfest. You only can have axial vehicles at Axialfest. That doesn't mean you can't bring others, but you cannot go on trails, trail systems, and use the markers with vehicles that haven't been inspected, that aren't an Axial product. This is this is camp. This is, obviously it's filled up a lot more, but that's the shower room. There's another one up there. I was camped way up on a hill. Brutal sun. So in camp, you can drive whatever you want in camp or around camp. But you can't go on to the trails that they have marked or any of that with something that isn't an axial vehicle. So, Primal RC Crashers Axialfest. Yes, that's what I did. I brought this big bad boy, and I gave up the ability to cook food. And I ended up having to eat out a lot to bring this. So I was not... And that being said, because it is the Badlands, and I was not gonna not use it. But this is a prime example of what you do not want to do. I could have very easily got kicked out of Axialfest. Great video. You guys should check it out. I love the Raminator, so much so that, like I said in other videos, Roughneck RC is going into production. We're going to be building parts, and I'm actually starting with this big boy here, building hop-up parts for that. They are going to be carbon fiber. I'm also going to look at doing hop-up parts for the SCX6. I'm also going to be doing some hop-up parts for the low C LMT. But I am starting with this big bad boy here because this is kind of my pride and joy. My truck right now sits at $9,000. I started out as a $2,700 RC, and I have a little over $9 grand combining all the stuff I've done to it in this thing. Check out my channel, check out my videos on the Raminator. You'll see all the stuff I've done. It's crazy. I'm just showing this as a prime example of what not to do, even though I did it. I'm such a bad boy. Shame on me. But that being said, you can't bring other vehicles. You only can use them around your camp. Don't expect to be able to use them on the trails. If they catch you on the trails with them, they will ask you to leave the trails. You probably will get yelled at, and you could very easily get kicked out of Axialfest. Because it's Axialfest. So please, Axial products only. For your sake. Or you can be a rebel, like me, and do something like this. That's up to you, but just wanted you to know about that. Alrighty then. Let's continue. God, it was fun. Such a monster. Such a monster. It's a great truck. Great platform. In any case. In any case.
You're definitely breaking the rules at Axialfest. Primal RC crashing Axialfest. We're not supposed to be here in the car.
As you see, I have probably over 200 videos.
Okay.
Well, they don't want a group of people driving around in vehicles, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Roughneck RC, we've been doing this for quite some time.
You know, back in, you know what I mean? Like down here. Where that one truck was.
Well, here's an example. This is a lowrider a friend of mine had there at camp. It is not an Axial product, but he's at camp, so no one's going to say anything. And I took the time to check it all out because it was awesome. Check that video out if you get a chance. But come on. Pushing the wrong buttons here. That's what I got for you guys. Sorry that this video is a little long. Just want people to be prepared. Also bring a first aid kit. There's lots of sharp rocks, lots of things that you could get hurt on. Always make sure your cell phone is charged for emergencies. I mean, there's always plenty of people to help you if something major goes wrong. I didn't see any snakes in that park, but I'm pretty sure they are. It is nature. You are out in the wilds, and I'm pretty sure that there are a variety of venomous snakes in the area. So be prepared for that. Above all, respect the park. Carry out all your garbage. Make sure everything's clean, because we want to be able to keep having events like this at places like this. And the more we respect that the park and the places that we go, the more times they'll invite us RC enthusiasts back to do events like that. Have a great time. You know, Axialfest is what you make it. It could be good, it could be bad. It is definitely not one of those vacations where you sleep in and are able to relax and do nothing. If you really want to make the most of it, you bring a rig for each thing. You do what you participate. The more you participate, the more you're going to get out of it. Me, I was very selectful because I'm not a crawler guy. I have one crawler left in my arsenal, and that's my Cobra Kai. And you know, but I'm not really big into crawlers. That's why I did the rock racing, rock bouncing. But also, you can pick and choose what defense you're gonna go do. But when you aren't, get to know your neighbor. Go and greet and meet people. It really is. It is definitely a good thing. As for Roughneck RC, we will continue to exist. We are backing away from the videos, like I said in previous videos, and we're going to concentrate on trying to make a product. And we're going to probably launch an Etsy site first, testing the waters. And I'll have videos on that when that time comes. But I have to back away from doing a lot of the videos that I do on a regular basis, so that I may concentrate on production on products that. I have a small shop on my property. I'm one guy. I have a a lot of people in place that can help me bring products to life, like my cousins. He owns a machine shop, so he's gonna help me, and I'm gonna outsource to him what I can't do on my own. So, but it's gonna take me a while, and and I work a full-time job in healthcare, so that eats a lot of my time up. So, and I have other things going on in my life, like I gained a lot of weight over the years, and the doctors and stuff want me to drop the weight back down and be more healthy. I'm almost 50 years old, so I kind of have to watch all those health-related problems that come with being a middle-aged man. So I have to take time off from producing videos to accommodate all those things and my work schedule. So this will, by all means, stay subscribed. I'm being honest and upfront with you. We will put videos here and there. It'll probably be videos more related to products that are coming out from Roughneck RC, and when Etsy is ready to launch. So, maybe a running video here and there, depending, but not as frequent. Definitely not. Just be prepared for that. Stay subscribed, guys. Your support means the world. You're the reason I have all this support through this channel is the reason I'm able to think about doing a business like this and start trying to create something. It's you guys, and I met a lot of great people at Axialfest. So the bottom line is, Axialfest is what you make of it is. You can spend a lot or a little, and just be prepared and double down on all your prep. Being I hate to use the word prepper, but your prepper stuff, for the events, because you're gonna need all that stuff. No matter what event you're going to, you want to make sure you have everything you need, especially when you're 14 hours away from, your home. So, once again, I am Michael Payne. Remember, play hard and play dirty. Get out there and have a good time, guys. See you on the flip side.